Good morning. Good afternoon for some of you. Happy Saturday, everyone. It's DC FanDome Day. I wanted to wear this shirt so badly to show some fandom love, but it's enormous on me. Oh, and look, it got darker. It got darker. I kind of hope it stays for a real long time, and I'm tempted. I'm not going to make that one real, but now this makes me want another real one so badly. But the important thing today is we have a very special guest who I haven't been able to see in so long. And it feels so weird, like finally getting to see him now, even though it's just through the computer screen. Dorian Parks.
What up? What up, Perri?
Man, I miss being in the studio with everyone.
I know. It's so sad. I mean, like, it's weird. Like, especially us two. Like, every time I walk in or out, it's usually I always see you say goodbye or hi. It's so weird. It's so weird being on like opposite ends talking through a screen now.
So what's your deal now? Are you in your apartment? Are you living by yourself?
Yeah, I'm still back in my apartment back here in LA. I went home like a month or so ago and chilled out for a little bit, but I'm back up here now, just chilling. Yeah, I'm by myself, but I'm loving it. Like I've been working out, like actually being consistent with it for once, so it's pretty good. Like now I've gotten into a regimen, a routine. Like I actually enjoy it, and I got the music on, I got the headphones, so it's been a transformative quarantine session.
What's the key to finding the workout that worked for you? Is it kind of like I keep using this thing called Obey. It's an online subscription thing that you sign up for and you can take on-demand classes whenever you want.
So there's this Twitter account called Fat Kids Deals that just provides you with like low discount stuff. And then one day I was like scrolling through and they had an ab roller that was like $6. I was like, you know what? Let me get it. I might not use it, but it's $6, so let me go ahead and get it. And then they had this other one that was like a perfect push-up type thing that was really cheap. So I said, all right, let me go ahead and grab that. And then so once I grabbed those, they were sitting in the corner for a couple weeks, and I said, you know what, I'm not going to waste my money. So once I started, and then once I like got into, I felt like once I actually had the right soundtrack, the songs, like the pump up music that I had, like it really unlocked like me wanting to work out more and more. And then once the NBA came back, I was really motivated because I was like, bro, come on now, I can't play basketball. I can't go outside, so I might as well just start working out and try to get back into that basketball shape that I used to have.
I suck at push-ups, so I feel like I need that perfect push-up thing.
Yeah, and I mean I'm decent at them now, but at first, they recommend you like they have a whole bunch of different tutorials that comes with this. So I started with the beginner. I want to say I'm intermediate now. I feel like it's getting better for me, easier for me to do push-ups more consistently with the different ones they have. But all in all, I'm pretty impressed with myself. I'm not gonna lie. Like for me to be going from for it to like be, I want to say it's been about 2.5, 3 months now of me trying to be consistent. Some days I'll take a break, but most of the time I'm just like, you know what, just do it. It's only like 30 minutes, 40 minutes.
It's good for you. Like it's good for your body to take a break every once in a while. I should probably be doing that myself more than I do.
And I'm now like, so I've started trying to incorporate, because I have an Oculus Quest, so I've been trying to do a little bit of VR training or workout training through VR, mainly the conditioning stuff. Like I'll be doing the Creed thing a lot, and especially this game called Pistol Whip. Although it's more like gun related, it's a workout if you have it on the hard level. So I've been trying to do that condition wise, because you're not going to catch me out here running anytime soon. Even although like I'll run with a mask.
It's a workout too.
Huh?
Beat Saber's a workout too.
It is a workout, but I'm like, I don't know. I got tired of, I wish the way, I don't know how we did it back at Collider where you could import your own songs and things like that, because what I have now is just the Oculus, like whatever songs they have on there. So it's not, they don't have my Gundam style. I can't rap. I can't do it like that. So I don't know. I play it every now and then they just did a Linkin Park update to it and added like 11 of their songs. So I might get that just to see what that's like.
I've grown obsessed with TikTok since lockdown started, and I've noticed lately that a lot of Beat Saber videos are coming up on my For You page, and it makes me miss it so much.
Oh man, I really do want to play it again, but it's just once they update the songs, like have you played Pistol Whip?
I haven't. I haven't.
Okay, I think so. Pistol Whip is like the same type of thing as Beat Sabers in terms of you're trying to hit something on the beat, but instead you're basically John Wick and you have two guns. So you have to. It's like Baby Driver meets Beat Saber. You have to kill people on beat. It's incredible, and I need to start playing it more. They really do. Like,
something.
They really do.
When lockdown started, I really wanted to buy a Nintendo Switch, and obviously they're unavailable across the board. But maybe I should switch that mind frame and go after an Oculus Quest instead. Or are they in the same boat where they're all sold out?
I mean, I think Oculus, they're pumping more out. Like Nintendo Switch, you have to have on notifications for literally every store, every Best Buy, everything to try and catch one of those. But for the Oculus, it seems like they're being more, they're restocking them faster. So I would say maybe switch to the Oculus. But at the same time, though, like Nintendo games for the first time ever, the Nintendo Switch games, like some of the main sellers are going on sale. So I don't know, depending on what you're trying to do. I think just in terms of like how just for the quarantine, I'd say get a VR headset. It's a good investment for the long run in terms of this whole quarantine that we're doing right now.
Yeah, I'm mighty tempted. I also wanted to ask you, how's the family doing? Everyone good? Everyone staying safe?
Yeah, everybody's doing good. Like I said, I went home a couple weeks ago, stayed with the fam a little bit. And the funny thing is my mom, like, so TNT was recently, they had like a Marvel marathon and they recently, so they played Infinity War. And at first my mom was just like cleaning through the house and she casually just got more and more invested. So by the time the snap happened, she was so mad at me. She just pissed in general because she didn't see any of that coming, but she got invested. And so it's funny too because she's only seen Black Panther, now Infinity War. So she saw Endgame. Like we watched Endgame right after that, and by that time it was Texas time. So we were like it was like 11 when we started Endgame. So it was 1 a.m., 2 a.m. In the morning with her just being upset. Like once it got to Tony's death, she was just upset. She was like, "Didn't we just go through this with Peter Parker, man?" She got invested in the whole MCU within the last 2 movies, and now we're going to go back and just watch the rest of them.
Your mom is the best.
Yeah, she's crazy, but she loves the Marvel movie. She was like, I thought this was just stupid comic book crap, but they actually have stories. And I was like, Mom, I've been telling you that this whole time. They're like, although it's just there's flashy stuff. There's some really good stories in some of them.
Yeah, I need to encourage my parents to watch, and not really my dad. He watches all that stuff, in his free time, but my mom in particular. I feel like there's not enough animated movies or superhero movies in her life because of, the very surface level assumption that animated movies are for kids and that superhero movies are filled with action. And, it's a taste thing. Action usually loses her very quickly.
Yeah, it took my dad a little bit to even get into the Spider-Verse. Like he finally watched it just because it was on Netflix, but he wasn't trying to see it on the big screen because he was just like, nah, it's an animation. Like I love Spider-Man, but it's an animation. I was like, Dad, this is the best Spider-Man movie. This is the best Spider-Man movie. Should have won Best Picture, but it won Best Animation, so we can't have it all. But yeah,
I just got the itch to rewatch that because I just watched Cutthroat City with Shameik in it.
Oh, I want to see that. I haven't seen it yet. What is it good?
It's good. I definitely have, some criticisms of it, but if you're looking at the RZA's filmography and just how he grows from film to film to film and just his ability to tap into different genres, I don't know, Cutthroat City just proves to me that he really does have a very natural ability behind the lens, and he's in the process of honing his craft, and it's only going to get better from here. But Cutthroat City is pretty good, and I would recommend it.
I'm excited. And the funny thing about it is I actually just recently did watch Into the Spider-Verse again because before, like during this whole quarantine thing, like I've gone into different rabbit holes of YouTube, just finding like, I don't know how I get on some of these pages. For example, there's a whole dedicated series of YouTubers, like hackers that are going and hacking, or not hacking, but like pretending that they're old people just so fake scammers can try to scam them. And what they end up doing is reversing it and scamming them and being like getting their details and stuff like that. It's very interesting. If you haven't watched it, Perri, just type in scammers getting scammed and you'll go into just a deep rabbit hole because you're like, it's oddly, you feel oddly justified just seeing these people that are trying to rip innocent people off. You're like, yeah, like that's what you get scammed back. So it's very intense. Like once you get invested in it, like there's 3 or 4 different YouTubers I've started watching, and it's just a rabbit hole once you start it. But besides that, there's this other YouTube channel called Sideway Music Side. I can't remember the name, but they just focus on music scores. And one of them, like it completely blew my mind. We went on a whole thing about why Shrek was the perfect music score, why it's like one of the best music scores of all time. And when he went and described like the details of why it was, and I went back and watched it, I was just like, bro, he just blew my mind. Like I look at Shrek in a whole new level now. Shrek is one of my favorite movies ever now.
I haven't rewatched that movie in a little too long. I feel like I don't give that series enough credit.
It's the same. That's what I'm saying. And I just randomly clicked on the video, and then once he explained it and started going through the whole trilogy, I said, well, goddamn, I guess Shrek really is a good, like, I think it's a good movie. But once I went back and revisited it, because I think the first one is free on IMDb TV. So I went back and watched it, and it just was, I was like, damn, this really was good. I didn't appreciate it when I was a little kid, but now that I'm older, I can really appreciate the score and everything about it. And just speaking of Spider-Verse too, that's what made me go back and look at Spider-Verse, because he did a in-depth analysis about it. And I was just, the Spider-Verse is just perfect movie.
I feel like that's the sign of a really good, not even just animated movie, but movie in general, when you can revisit it at different ages and maybe come to appreciate it in a new way.
Yeah, and the thing about it is with Shrek, the Shrek one that he did, I can't remember his name, and I'll give it to you so you put it in the description. But he did a comparison of why, like how the score, basically Suicide Squad did the same thing with how they infused music into to try to tell the story a little bit. But with Suicide Squad, it was just more on the nose, kind of poppy stuff. While Shrek, although it was poppy, it like kind of had a double layer meaning message to it. And I was just blown away. And I don't know, like, I don't know. I did not expect to talk about Shrek for the next 3 minutes, but I don't know. It's a good ass movie now.
I'm glad you did. Also, we have someone in the chat who I have not seen pop up in my live chat yet. Mom and Ems is here. And I imagine this comment was pertaining to my comment regarding her taste in action movies. So that is true. But she also said, let me find this here. She loved Joker. So there is a comic book adaptation that my mom really liked.
Nice.
I really liked it too, actually.
My mom hasn't seen Joker yet. I don't think she can. She's ready for that. I don't know if she can handle that.
I feel like your mom is just like so upbeat and positive. Just the tone and the vibe of that movie might clash with her overall being.
Yeah, she was pissed about the ending of Endgame. So if she and that's Marvel, and they're a bit lighter. So if she can handle that, I don't think she's ready for Joker anytime soon.
It sounds like you're really like studying up on movies. Is there any other kind of older movies that you've gone back and watched maybe for the first time?
Not in a minute. I'm not going to lie. Like during this whole quarantine, the first thing in my mind was like, I need to go back, keep watching these older movies. But as we got more and more into quarantine, it felt like I was getting consumed with like newer content. Although I thought it was going to be a slowdown, I feel like I've just every week, either if it's a movie or if it's a video game, because these last couple of months, like for those of you who don't know, I've been like focusing on Collider Games things, streaming and doing things over there. So I've been focusing just more on diving into video games, because now that I have a PC set up now. So I've just been diving into just a bunch of PC games I missed and a bunch of Xbox games. Like I just started playing consistently Halo and things like that. So it's been an interesting time for me. Rather than consuming more movies, I've just been diving more and more into video games and still trying to watch the movies that are currently dropping now. So it's been a hard balance to juggle. But I did recently watch King of Comedy.
What'd you watch?
I recently watched King of Comedy again, although I've seen it like 5 times. Still one.
I love how obsessed with that movie you got.
I think I watched it like 2 days ago or yesterday, just because it was Robert De Niro's birthday, and I said, you know what, I gotta support the man. Gotta go watch my favorite movie of him.
I don't blame you. I feel like I could probably use a rewatch of that. Have you ever seen? I'm trying to think of another De Niro movie I could give you. Have you ever seen Cape Fear?
No, I haven't.
I would highly recommend checking that out. I've watched that more times than I can count, but we were just rewatching that the other night. It's one of those movies that whenever it's on in the Nemiroff house, nobody can turn it off, and we have to watch it all the way through.
And I've also been, I guess on Netflix, I've been binging just as of recently because they added on as Legend of Korra, because I missed when it originally aired on Nickelodeon. I just caught the original Avatar. So seeing that series and seeing like just how people, because there are different hot takes and some people feel a certain type of way about Legend of Korra as a whole, but I'm enjoying it thus far. So that's another series I've been binging. And then as well as Lovecraft Country, loving that show. I've seen the first 2 episodes and I want to just keep binging the screeners I have, but I'm loving that so far. And I don't even
have a question for you.
Yes.
Without spoiling anything, what did you think of episode 2?
I love, without spoiling. Okay, I'm not gonna spoil anything. I absolutely loved it. I'm a little still shooken up about it, but I absolutely loved it overall. Like I can't believe that like what this series is doing. And I'm not even a horror fan. I hate horror. Like the last 20 minutes of the episode of the first episode, I was just like, bro, what's going on? I hate it here. I had to turn on the lights. So just episode 2 in general, I was just like all over the place. But it's a good, like, this series really has me captivated, and I'm really impressed by it. And I can't believe, like, especially like I said, it's a horror genre type of show. Horror in general, I stay away from movies, TV shows. You won't catch me on there. But the first 2 episodes captivated me. I'm just like, God damn it. Now I'm invested wholeheartedly. I might have to watch it with the lights on, but I'm gonna watch it regardless.
I feel like if you already had to watch these first 2 episodes with the lights on, like, you're not gonna get away from that.
No, I'm keeping the lights on. It's ridiculous. Like the show is scary. Like it's suspense. I guess it's more suspenseful. Like it raises my anxiety, raises my stress just because of everything going on. So I'm just like, bro.
Given how you feel about horror, I kind of want you to do a whole reaction video of you watching the movie Host. Have you heard about that?
No, I haven't heard of that, and okay. I don't want to now.
I really think it's very well done. So I feel like if you're scared by it, it's at least an earned scare. But it was a movie made entirely in lockdown, and the whole movie takes place on a Zoom call. So you know how like Zoom taps out after an hour? Mm-hmm. So it's only, like 8 minutes and like some seconds, but it's basically a seance gone wrong, and it is so crazy effective.
Okay, all right. If it's one of those type of scary movies, I'll give it a try. Because even Invisible Man, I watched that on. I didn't get to catch that in theaters, but I watched that on TV, and that scared the hell out of me. That one scene that was in the trailer, like we both tweeted about it. But that one scene where she throws a paint, that scared the absolute crap out of me. I was eating food, I almost dropped my food when that scene happened. That scared the hell out of me, and I didn't see it coming out of nowhere. But
you need to film yourself watching Host. I think you're going to get some really good reaction videos out of it.
All right. I'll do it. I'll do it.
So today is, of course, DC FanDome Day. What would you say is the panel or the portion of the event that you're most looking forward to?
Ooh, that's a hard one because there's so many different things. I want to say the most exciting thing I'm excited for, I guess, out of the whole thing in terms of original content, I want to say is probably the Batman. I feel like that's an easy cop out, but we've already seen Wonder Woman footage, and I know we're getting a new Wonder Woman trailer, but the footage we saw thus far is already got me sold. So I would be fine with not seeing any more footage of that. But that I'll take a new trailer. But as far as new content, I'm excited for the Batman, but I'm also excited for the trailer because I know we're going to get a trailer for Zack Snyder's Justice League. So I think I'm most excited about that out of all the upcoming panels. There's
a lot here. I think the thing that I got most curious about is the Flash movie now, just because of the announcement the other day with Ben Affleck returning as Batman in that.
Yeah,
that has my interest peaked right now.
Yeah, it feels like, I know they're going to do the Flashpoint storyline, but essentially it feels like it's going to be their attempt at trying to do like an Into the Spider-Verse type of thing where you have all these different iterations of different characters. So like I said, they're trying to do like the Flashpoint thing. It'll be their interpretation of it because I don't think it'll be comic accurate, like 100% accurate just because of already the things that they've set up in the DCU. So I'm excited to see their attempt on it. And if Ben Affleck is willing to come back, like they said he read the script and was like, all right, I'm down, then I'm excited about it, because if Ben Affleck, out of all people that has been like gone through it throughout the whole DCU since the beginning, like gone through the ups and downs with it. If he's willing to come back, then I think that means they got something. So if Andy Muschietti stays on, it seems like we've got him locked in as the director for the rest of the production. So I'm hoping we're good on that front, because I think there's like the sixth or seventh director now.
There's been quite a few. I feel like after all the bumps in the road, I'm finally feeling confident that this is the group that's going to see it through. The other thing I'm really curious about is I kind of doubt this is going to happen, but if the Aquaman portion of the event is going to have any mention of the Trench movie. The Trench movie's been one of the ones that I've been looking forward to most, and I feel like we haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah, that would be interesting. If I don't think they've done anything in terms of pre-production or anything like that, but I would love something around that, because that was announced a little while ago. So I would love an update on that, just because I think the Aquaman and the Flash one are like the two shortest panels. So if I think if they're not really going to show anything, then I would hope they just say like, all right, here's a first look at what the Trench people will look like, or something, some concept art or something of that, because I don't think there's anything Aquaman 2 related. So hopefully it's the Trench related instead, because if it's only 10 minutes and half of it's going to be them just saying like, hey, what's up DC fans, like blah blah blah, so I don't know how much content we'll get out of that. But
I'm just so curious to see how the whole event like runs too, because virtual conventions and events like this is, I don't know, it's such a new thing, and it seems like every single convention is taking a slightly different approach to it.
Yeah, and I'm glad they made the decision to space it out and extend it to another weekend for some of the other content, because they were like the original plan they had for all those panels, having it, although it's still going to be 24 hours and they'll have like encores of the presentations and things like that. There was just so much content to consume, and there were panels that I was going to miss out on because I wanted to attend those, but you got another super mega panel over here. So now I'm glad that they're giving us the option and spacing it out, and just hopefully now like they'll use this as a test run. They saw what SDC did, and now they can maybe use that as an example and a model to kind of see what worked, what didn't, and then they'll see what works from this one, because it seems like they've got it figured out for the most part, especially with these bigger panels. So I'm excited to see what this turns out to be, and how other studios, maybe Marvel, will follow suit and just be like, hey, that DC FanDome went pretty smoothly. Let's do that.
I hope
try.
We have a super chat here from Mike K. Aside from all the Batman news, I'm most curious about the Black Adam panel. I'm quite curious about that too. You know what I've been watching a lot of lately? Dwayne Johnson movies.
What's the last one you've watched?
So I was watching this one on the treadmill today, so I'm only halfway through it. I'm splitting it up to encourage myself to get on the treadmill for 45 minutes, 2 days, but I'm halfway through Walking Tall. And when you go by the tomato meter, there's a lot of Dwayne Johnson movies that have fairly low scores, or, even just putting them in the rotten zone. But I don't know. I think he elevates literally everything he's in. I was even watching The Tooth Fairy the other day, and I know I'm not the target audience, but like it's a really sweet concept, and he makes the most of that role.
He just elevates anything he touches. It's like if you got The Rock in your franchise, you've definitely got another hit on your hands. Just look at how I don't want to say revolutionized the Fast and Furious franchise, but he definitely gave it a supercharge when he was introduced. And then from then on, like I feel like the franchise has just gone up and up. And now we've got him as Black Adam. He's been campaigning for that role for so long, and then now like they're actually in the works with it. We got a little bit of concept art from that teaser. So hopefully we get a teaser trailer or something like that, or just an official look at him in the suit, because everything we've seen has just been posters and things like that. So I'm excited to see what he does with this, bringing him into the DCU, and how many movies they want to keep him for, because like we said, he's a movie star. He elevates everything he's in. So if he's standing alone in his own Black Adam, you're going to want to bring him into other movies to interact with these other stars.
I freaking love him. I mean, seriously, not that this isn't already happening, but put him in everything, because like we both said, he elevates the movies he's in. I'll always trust that a movie that he is on board with, whether it's a starring thing, a producing thing, maybe both, it's going to be at a certain level or above. But on top of that, I feel like the more exposure he gets, the more positivity we have in the world, because he just like good vibes, sends them out everywhere all the time, and I freaking love him.
And and just because like we're talking about our old stuff, like especially with Dwayne Johnson, one of my favorite interviews is with you and him and Kevin Hart. That whole Jumanji interview, I always revisit that. It always makes me laugh. Like they are hilarious together, and just how they talk to the press and things like that. You can genuinely see that they care about their movies and they care about being nice to people, which is a good thing, especially being that high of a person in this industry.
I definitely got that feeling being in that room, and that trip was one of a kind. It will always have a big play. That I have a feeling that might always be my favorite junket of all time because of the bungee jumping.
It's hard to top that. Yeah, bungee jumping, that looked incredible.
Do you have a favorite junket or press event you've ever done?
I guess it was this year. I guess my favorite press junket would probably be the Birds of Prey one. Getting to go to London and then just sit there talking to Margot Robbie. I just looked at her for like a good 15 seconds. I was like, I'm really talking to Margot right now. Look at her. Look at my baby Margot. Just looking all good and stuff like that. So I think that was probably my favorite press junket. Just not only just going to London, but I genuinely love Birds of Prey. So getting to talk to the cast and getting to see how much passion they have behind it was an experience I'll never forget.
She's a great interview too. I interviewed her a while back for Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, and when you're walking into a room that has Margot Robbie and Tina Fey in there, you're going to be schwitzing and a little nervous. And I don't know, it's when you walk into a room with such big stars like that and there's such a joy, you don't forget it.
Yeah, they were incredible. It's nice to have like celebrities like that, like all the press junkets we do, especially these Zooms now. It seems like the Zooms now, the celebs are feel a bit more comfortable, feel a bit more relaxed. So it seems more authentic with these Zoom calls now. Although I miss doing the actual junkets, I think these Zoom calls are pretty cool as well.
I definitely am very pleased with them as an alternative right now. I can't believe, I'll never forget you going to the Birds of Prey junket after having survived the night before in Park City.
I went from where does Sundance take place again? Colorado? Where were we at?
Park City, Utah.
We're in Utah. I don't even know the state we were in. We went from Utah, took a 12-hour, 13-hour flight, and then went to London. Just been like 2 or 3 days. Didn't even have that long in London. Then had to return back the following weekend. That was a quick turnaround, but it was an experience, and I'm glad I got to do that because, that was the last big travel thing, anything related I got to do before this whole COVID thing got everything started messing up. So that I think that's also why I cherish that experience, because that was literally one of the biggest things, but that was one of the last things I got to do as far as anything outside of chilling at home.
I share that feeling big time. A very random question for you now, but I'm curious how you're doing with this. Are you cooking anything?
No, no. I tried. I gave it a try for a couple weeks. It took me a couple weeks to learn how to make eggs properly, learn how to make those. Those are pretty easy. So if you want to count bacon and eggs, I can cook those. I can cook those all day. I'm chef with the bacon and eggs. But as far as actual things, learn how to make pasta, basic pasta with butter and stuff like that. Other than that, I'm taking baby steps as we learn how to become a chef. Now that more places are opening up, I just look at it as me trying to support local businesses rather than me trying to cook in. I'm trying to support the local businesses. So that's my rule. Whenever I do eat out, I will go to I have to be a restaurant, a mom and pop shop or something like that in my area. And thankfully, because I'm in the Valley, the Burbank area, there's a lot of little smaller things. So I try to support those. But as far as cooking in, just the frozen meals, I have stepped up my game, bought a lot more of those, so I can cook those in the microwave pretty well.
Yeah, I feel ya. I mean, I still don't have the egg game down as well as I'd like, but I started using that delivery service, Freshly. It's not one that gives you a box of ingredients and makes you have to cook it yourself. It's literally just microwavable meals. But the thing is, it's made with real food and it's supposed to be healthy-ish. So between my poor DoorDash bill and that, I think I'm pretty covered right now. But have you been getting any of the press mailers with cooking things in it?
Yeah. So because I'll do unboxing videos, and then Project Power sent me one, and I just had to take a picture because in the Project Power one, all of it required me to make something. As soon as I saw the ingredients for the donuts. I said, nah, this is not happening right now.
My top priority when we're done streaming is text messaging you a link to a video I made of me and my sister attempting to fry donuts. And I think you will appreciate it.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely give that a look, because that was one of the things on there, is like making donuts, and I just said nope. I support the local New Orleans restaurants because that's where the movie was based in, but it's a no for me. I'm not going to try to attempt something like that. I'll bring somebody over to help do that for me, but it's a no-go for me. Like, they need any type of food thing, I need to put on the special. I need to put a note saying, don't send me anything that requires me to make it. Just have it pre-made, or don't send it at all, because it's not happening.
If I could make a special request, I would want ingredients for making like a fun drink, maybe.
Yeah.
Probably not a good idea to send me things that require me to follow a recipe or use a stove, for that matter, but I've tried it twice now. I did pretty well with the pizza they sent me for Love Life, the HBO Max show. That was okay. The beignets were a different story.
They sent me, there's something like Star Trek Lower Decks. They sent, like, part of it was to make a drink. It was called a Romulan, something like that.
That makes sense.
Romulan. And then
Romulan.
as I looked at the ingredients, and they sent like a whole kit, and I tried to do it. It tasted like bitter hell. It was the worst drink somebody's ever made. Like, if somebody made that for me at a bar, I'd throw it in their face and just say, you deserve to be fired. I wouldn't actually do that, but you know.
What is your go-to drink while you're on lockdown?
Besides beer, like my to-go-to is usually Modelo or Blue Moon. But if we're talking like drink, then it's I'll do like a whiskey, like a little whiskey and Coke. Like, I got some whiskey glasses from Fat Kid Deal, so I feel like a man just having those the whiskey. The whiskey got the 2 ice cubes. Sometimes I'll do it on the rocks. Sometimes I'll put a little Coke in there. But that's probably my to-go-to drink. And then, of course, now that I can legally get sponsored by alcohol places, Tito's is also another brand I'm looking at you, Tito's. Hit me up with a sponsorship. But that's another one. My to go to Tito and Sprite.
I'm still pounding the Blue Moons, but I did branch out a little thanks to a company called Tavour. They sent me a box of all different types of beers from local breweries, and it was an adventure. Some of the alcohol percentages, though, were a lot higher than a Blue Moon, and it really caught me off guard. So I need to pay a little more attention to that. But it's been kind of fun trying to expand my beer drinking horizons.
Yeah, and I tried IPA. I tried a couple of IPAs I went to Tender Greens, and I got a 6-pack of their IPA. It was all right. I'm not an IPA type of guy, but
I know that they have their own beer.
I don't think it's. I think it's a locally sourced one that they support. But yeah, it was an interest. I think it's called Wolf Pup.
Okay.
Something like that. But it was all right.
Tender Greens.
I
miss all the places. I'm very eager to get back to LA, but obviously I don't want to rush it for safety reasons. But I feel like of everything, my heart aches for creation.
Oh, where is that? Where's that?
There's creations all over the place. And actually, if you're getting into like working out and stuff, I would highly recommend checking that out, because there's so much good stuff, like juices and smoothies. But then they also have like actual meals that are just really good, and like baked goods that taste like legit cookies and brownies, but they're just made with like real stuff,
All right. I might give it a try. I'm besides like eating somewhat, I want to say I'm not eating healthy. I'm not eating that healthy besides working out and stuff like that. The protein shakes, I got a blender, so I've been using that, but definitely will take you up on that recommendation, because I am looking for places that are like healthy, but still get the job done.
Yeah. You got to find a balance. I have the Freshly, but then every Friday night after we play virtual beer pong, speaking of which, you should play beer pong with us one night.
Say less. I'm down.
All right. I'm going to hold you to that. But every Friday night is my night to like basically faceplant a pizza. It was very good last night. I have to let you go because you have work to do. But before we sign off, is there anything you want to plug? Social media, Geeks of Color, any specific projects you're working on?
Yeah, so not there's I'm working on a couple different projects in the work. Got a tournament lined up soon for Collider games that I'll talk more about. Couple in the upcoming weeks or so. But besides that, everything on you can find me on Geeks of Color Collider Games. We've got a Blurred and Bougie party later tonight after all the panels are done. There's going to be by DJ Nice. He's performing. He performed last year at San Diego Comic-Con. He's performing again this year, doing a whole set, and we'll get an exclusive listen to the one of the songs on the Wonder Woman soundtrack. So definitely tune into that. It'll be on his Instagram live at 6:30. I'll be there live tweeting and things like that. So besides that, yeah, just make sure to check me out on Twitter and follow me on Geeks of Color and follow me on Collider Games, and I'll be posting a lot of content on across those platforms.
Good luck keeping up with everything Dorian is doing right now. I'm so happy you're so busy and you're all over the place delivering the goods to the people.
I'm trying
now.
I'm trying, and I just want to say thank you. It's so nice to see your face again, Perri. Yeah. And now, even though we get to talk in like Slack and stuff like that, I'm glad to get to see your face, and we'll do more videos and stuff like this soon.
Beer pong.
We'll say less. Like I said, I'll be there in the next episode. I'm a beer pong master.
Okay, I'm 100% making this happen. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I will see some of you tonight for a fantasy football draft. I'm studying up.